Hello and welcome to the Infinite Escape Room, and you join us in the Pubisode. That's right, we are buried down in Robin's Hole, the dark brown cave-based pub where we go to sup on a nice dark chocolate porter. Yeah, reminisce about our wonderful, wonderful weekend in Nottingham, which, to be honest, we're only actually halfway through at this point, and do our usual Pubisode things of give you some good old escape room industry / general thinkery chats, give you some recommendations, and generally shoot the breeze. But in the meantime, hi, I'm Mike, and I'm joined by Jamie Gibbs, Jonathan Saunders, and Mairi Nolan. And what's everybody drinking to my right?
Charles Saunders.
David Charles Saunders III.
Thank you.
Earl of Derby. And yeah, what can I get for everybody? I'm drinking some of Jamie's mead, and it's very nice. It's got a Skyrim fella on the bottle.
It is lovely. What haven't I drank today? Because I've had IPA, I've had mead, I've had red wine, but I'm empty of all those things. I'm currently drinking a can of Cruz Campo.
I am on Jamie's mead. Unlike Jamie, it doesn't seem to sharpen me with every sip. It dulls me like a normal human.
It's the wine of kings, John.
Oh, God. Yes, I'm having a lovely time.
And I'm drinking a priceless bottle of wine that our landlord hid in this apartment, and we had to solve many puzzles 2 weeks ago to rescue the bottle of wine.
And you're still drinking it?
I'm still drinking it 2 weeks later. It's a 19 crimes, but it's priceless.
Absolutely. I mean, the dust on the bottle alone should indicate its value.
It's from 1922.
I mean, to be fair, the dust could have just settled while we were trying to solve the puzzle. Yeah, because you join us. So this is day 2 of our weekend. This is day 2 of our weekend in Nottingham. We have today done 4 physical escape rooms in the city of Escape Logic. They were all excellent. You can listen to our travel log to hear about that. But we have also done 2 escape room recordings. And I don't know about you, I'm actually feeling now slightly more like I've got some sugar in my brain, possibly thanks to the mead. So I feel like I'm actually kind of, capable, vaguely, again, of talking. We have normally just a sort of a general conversational question when it comes to our pubisodes. And this week we are talking about ironing out the kinks, or carpet kind of stinks. When should you update an escape room?
I suppose it's good to preface this by saying why we're talking about this topic. So we've done 4 escape rooms today at Escape Logic. I think we all had a really good time on all 4 of them. But one of the things that we noticed with
3 of
these rooms, was that they are a good number of years old and they are starting to show their age. And I think a common critique that we had for some of these rooms was that it would have been better if we would have had a better experience if they'd updated those rooms a little bit.
But also 2 of those 3 rooms had gimmicks or mechanics that when the room was released was either a first, and Mike brought this up in the travel logs, or nearly a first, and are now, from your extensive travel experience, being done in a much more polished way elsewhere.
Yes.
Which is awkward.
It's awkward, but I think what you get then is a room in the UK then has a reputation for being the best, because everyone who played it when it first started has such incredibly fond memories that even if you then go on to play it 10 other times in other places,
like the way that games that you play when you're a kid have that special place in your heart.
I'm so no shade on this room, but the Butcher, I've been told the entire time I've been doing escape rooms how fantastic it is, but I've only just got to it now and I'm at over 400 rooms and I'm it's fine, seen it done better. And the same with the other one, Curio, there's a gimmick, seen it done better. But that leads us on to our question is well, should they keep the gimmick and update it? Or should they swap it out for something else?
Well, and also, this is an interesting time for the industry, because I think it's fair to say that the industry isn't quite in its ascendance in the same way that it was maybe 5 years ago. So pre-COVID, escape rooms were still kind of expanding. There was a lot of new stuff coming out. And since COVID, I think a lot of rooms have been, the surviving rooms have largely been consolidating. There haven't been the same number of new rooms coming out. So there is a lot more kind of essentially old stock.
I mean, here, I think that's quite UK specific. Actually,
very much so.
Out in the States especially.
Well, even in Europe.
Wild stuff being made.
Yeah. I'm taking multiple trips in Europe this year just for rooms that are opening, and they're going to be doing things that are out of this world and brand new and are using massive floor plans and stuff like that. So I think it's a UK problem that we're not.
Oh, so you come and do parochial rooms with us. I'll see John and Jamie and Mike, and I'll do a little old tiny room with them. Oh, look, a log.
So quaint, so
I
retro.
Be sick, I pity them. Anyway, off on my jet-setting lifestyle, one of the puzzles is somebody giving me a full body massage with duck liver pate.
Release the rat.
Puzzle me.
I feel personally attacked.
Puzzle me. Oh my God, that has to be the best thing to cry out during lovemaking.
Puzzle me. Puzzle me.
I'm going to try it in the overnight room.
Yes. You're not only going to ask them to have sex in the room, you're going to shout puzzle me.
Start doing semaphore.
couldn't that
like
be
doing-
Yeah.
You know, Pubisode question: is it ever ethical to have sex in an escape room while the GM watches and tries to work out if you should trigger the lock or not?
Just let you know, guys, I'll be watching everything you do and hearing everything you say. I fucking know.
For context.
That's why we're doing it.
Okay, so for context, and listeners who love escape rooms will be familiar with this room. There is a room called Kruger's Secret, which is an overnight escape room. So it's about 10 hours long. And it's not been open a crazy amount of time, but there's mixed ideas online whether or not overnight you are left alone in your room or whether the puzzles and the scares and the actor interaction continues all throughout the night. And a somewhat innocent question, if you're left alone, can you then treat it like a hotel? And if you're with your partner, are you allowed to have sex? Not that I would or will, but I just want to know if that's something someone could do, because people talk about the Mile High Club, and that would be a very cool icebreaker to be like, I've had sex in an escape room. And I'm just going to leave it at that.
Kruger's secret. The secret is all the participants are shagging.
Also, by the time this airs, I would have played Kruger's Secret.
So we'll have the answer.
follow-up.
So if you're the cleanup crew for Mari's room, sorry.
No UV lights in the rooms. No UV lights.
That is a really good question, though. Is it ethical to have a wank in an escape room?
I would hazard a guess. No.
For some
You need
reason,
too long.
It's a health and safety
This
violation for a start.
depends on the way.
Oh, wait, we're getting sidetracked.
This just makes me think of the Escape the Towers in Canterbury with the toilet. Like,
Yes, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you would become... Mari, you might become part of a disclaimer.
yes.
Oh, yeah, one of those things,
yeah.
Do
please.
not have sex in the room.
So today, for example, we had people very specifically saying, don't lick, chew the wires, etc.
They all said that. They all said don't lick the wires.
Something's happened.
I think we can agree it is a dark badge of honor to have become part of the ongoing briefing of an escape room after you've left. That's a real thing to have on your lapel.
It's when like, you know, the next kind of like, you know, when this episode goes out and then somebody goes and does that room and they go, so this bed is a puzzle element and should only be used interactive with that. And these curtains, you should absolutely, gentlemen, not wipe yourself afterwards on them. Again,
Because there's already UV stuff on there and it's part of the soul.
yes, you will rub out the very important numbers. Don't rub one out. Don't do that either. That's the next bit of the safety announcement. And now we can finally get to the fucking fire eggs.
I mean, what a red herring. Oh, somebody's written something in. Is this sort of Viking runes? No, that's just cum.
That'll be another good game show. Viking runes will come.
Anyway,
Is it cake?
it's not, but it might be icing.
We're talking about updating rather than
Updating.
Jamie redecorating the place.
Why me? Why am I the one stepping on
Rooms should be updated if bodily fluids get in the rooms.
Yes.
That's not controversial.
That's a rule we can agree on.
Yes.
I'd agree.
This feels like the
What
coolest of
painted.
all our hot takes.
So one thing that I've seen, I know Mari's seen it as well, as when we've done escape room reviews, as an influencer.
Sorry, as a what?
As an
What?
influencer. How much do I want to put the... As an influencer.
Okay, listeners didn't see that, but he genuinely swirled imaginary brandy in his hand.
I do escape rooms. I like to say all the things.
Drunken spider.
Yeah, when you do reviews and things, and somebody wants you to come and do a room specifically to review it, often I've been told, don't come when it opens. Wait a month or so. Wait up to 3 months before you play it.
Don't fuck on the first date.
Absolutely. Because that's when they ironed out some of the kinks and you'll play it how it was intended to be played once they've worked out things, once the general public have been through it and battle tested it. But then, all right, you get in a room that's sort of more bedded in. But that means that 3 months worth of people, regular people, are getting screwed over by playing potentially bad rooms.
Sure.
Is that just as bad as an old room that's starting to show its age?
There is a flip side to that, though. There's several companies and rooms that, like, I've played right at the start and then played months later, and it's gone way downhill.
Whoa.
Do tell.
So, like,
Okay,
well,
go
a
on.
sci-fi room will break very quickly, right? Like, like the first time you play that, it's like, yeah, the touchscreen works really well. This mechanic works really well.
I mean, not Immaterium, but...
Not
we'll come back to that.
Immaterium. There's not a lot of touchscreens and stuff in that, but
Oh, they weren't. They were all already broken.
yeah.
True, yeah.
I can think of one that's not an escape room. It's a challenge room. And I played it on opening and then played it a few months later, and it was very worn, like 4 months later.
Wow.
But that's a very high intensity physical experience, right? So I guess that not exactly the same as an escape room, but yeah, I feel like, again, not a controversial take, but a lot of the franchise rooms that maybe like install a room, then go away.
Yeah.
They don't update them. That can break really quickly. And so those ones you do want to play right when they start.
Ooh, but then that begs the question: would you rather a puzzle that's brand new, everything looks amazing, but they haven't worked out the puzzle cadence, the signposting, the pacing of the room because it's still a bit shonky, or one where they've nailed that, but the props are looking a bit battered? What's worse for you when you play that room?
There's something really sad when you've got a prop in your hand and the wear and tear on the room becomes part of the solve. Like when you see a keypad and you can see the wear on the buttons that are part of the code. It's a £30 keypad, guys. Just fucking replace it every 3 months. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
I put this effect, the effect of rooms getting to a degree of wear and tear that the worst landlord would not accept. And still being operating. I think it's because there's not very good feedback because there's no replayability. You don't get repeat custom generally. So if that bit didn't work properly, or if that bit's just getting really worn and tired, or if there's holes in that wall because someone tried to punch it, whatever it is, that there isn't really a direct path for kind of punishment of that. There's not really any reason to maintain that.
Well, I don't know. I feel like
I think there is, but not from a kind of
you think
commercial sense.
from a commercial sense. So I think it depends in some respects, because I think a lot of so you mentioned the franchise rooms. So the rooms that I have played where there are bits that have just basically they've essentially kind of stopped bits of the puzzle from being puzzle elements from being bits of the puzzle because they're just broken and they bypass them. That's always been franchise rooms.
Yeah.
And that is, you're right. It's where they come in, they install a room, they fuck off, and then they leave it to a couple of kind of poor graduates.
So chains.
It's the chains, and they are normally city centres, and they cater to primarily birthday parties, corporate things.
Big footfall,
and they are looking at the Google reviews. They're not looking at the enthusiast space. Whereas places like we've been today, like Escape Logic, 90% of that is word of mouth. Well, not 90%, a good proportion of the kind of the big visits to that are going to be word of mouth. And it's going to be people who are traveling to do it. I think that is the corporate, I think the incentives, I think the commercial incentives are different depending on where you are and what kind of you are.
And yet, the enthusiast feedback loop is no better because, Mairi, how many people had you heard say, "Oh yeah, the Butcher, that's the scariest room in the UK"? We do it, and you go.
But everyone I know who's played it pre-lockdown, so more than 6 years ago.
And yet they're still saying,
but they're not replaying it. Those people are still saying having played an experience that was super standout. But then that begs the question: should they update it to still be competitive? But the ones that people are talking about, it's still the same room. It's just
the world has moved on.
The world's moved on.
The Baker would be a spooky sequel.
Do I call it the Baker?
No, but you finish the Butcher, and
and the candlestick maker.
We're retiring the Butcher, and now comes the Baker. That's right. You're a bag of flour, and John, you're a bag of sugar.
Get him on.
Pain or chocolate.
Oh, nice.
So good.
I like it.
I'm very croissant.
And it's downhill from there.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Price it anyway.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's Escape Rooms Cardiff, one of my favourite escape rooms. They've updated the rooms in two different ways, and I really like the way they've done it. So the first one, they had a room called Press Start. It was a sci-fi room. It was meant to be very the production quality and the set design were brilliant. You were on trapped in a spaceship, very high tech stuff. I played it. I hated it.
Wow.
And it's I love all their other rooms. I hated Press Start because it felt as if all the focus had been on the set design and nothing much on the puzzles. So yeah, I panned it. But a lot of other people did as well. And they took on that feedback. They closed the room down fairly soon after launch, a few months afterwards. The set design was pretty locked in. They couldn't do much. But they redid everything. They redid all the puzzles with the limitations of what they had. They added in another room to set the scene before you got onto the spaceship. And I played that once they'd updated it and loved it.
Wow.
Such a good experience.
Awesome.
So we listened to the feedback to update a room that wasn't that old, and they sunk a shit ton of money into it, but they knew that it wasn't working. What they also do now is they've got, I think, 7 rooms. 5 of those 7 have been retired and updated. But rather than doing a new room, they've done it as a sequel to the original.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice. Oh, replayability. Smart.
Yeah.
But of the ones I've played, so they've got the Tomb and the Tomb 2. They've got Sherlock and Sherlock 2. I think those are the main ones I've done the sequels for. It's the same space, but they've done loads of work to make it feel different. So some elements are the same that you recognize if you've played it before. Every single puzzle is different. A lot of the set pieces have been changed. Like they really put a lot of care in to update it and renovate it.
I wonder then, is the answer... Oh, Mike is itching.
We were talking about Walkabout Mini Golf earlier.
Yeah.
VR, and that does the exact same thing where it's, here's your course remixed.
Yeah.
And it's almost like the better version of the course every time. Sorry, John. There you go.
I was going to say, is this the answer to our question then? That the reason rooms don't get quality of life updates is because the money that will be spent on the update is for the next room. And it has to be that way because that's where the replayability comes. The replayability for a room called Sherlock is Sherlock 2. It's not Sherlock 1.1. And that's how, like with today, like we kind of all noted that in Curio, for example, there are a couple of ways the room cues you that just aren't very good and kind of have to be briefed. And this is on a room that's been around for like a decade, like around there. that could have been fixed, guys. That's the sort of briefing that you're doing when you're still a couple of months in and you haven't fixed that bit yet. What the hell? Well,
but they're actively working on a new room next door. We saw that there's a bit that's fenced, that's bits, and Escape Logic, they build into a space. Ye gods, imagine being their neighbours. You'd be like, oh man, I've not used my shed for a week. And then next thing you know, it's this incredible experience. Like they just expand and use and breathe into a space. It's wonderful. But so I suppose we've got almost sort of two different themes developing here as well, because we're talking about updates, and we're talking about updates both in terms of kind of quality of life, playability, replayability, but also updates in terms of, just sheer maintenance.
Yes,
there's almost like a distinction to be made here. I mean, do we need to, when we say update, what do we mean? Do we mean like update as in just like, ye gods, replace your worn out props and puzzles, or do we mean updates as in actual updates to the space and puzzles themselves?
Okay, I was going to say both, but they have different payoffs and they have the same toxic feedback loop creating the problem. So the problem being created is that everything that comes in is new to the space, and they aren't going to complain about a thing and then go back and find that it's fixed. So there's no like positive feedback loop for fixing good maintenance. There's the absence of occasional negative feedback. But I think there's also a sort of a slightly sad acceptance in the consumer base for the industry of, this prop's pretty worn out and there's this literal shadow of it on the wall where I'm about to place it, but hey ho, escape rooms. Like there's a slightly sad thing there where we've just paid like sometimes north of 30 quid a head for an hour's of entertainment. Really? We're not asking for more? Really? You couldn't repaint that wall? Really?
This hasn't happened today, by the way. I want to
No, sure.
Escape Logic. You guys are great.
This isn't about you, but we've all been there, right?
Yeah.
But the quality of life updates that we could think of instances today that they've been necessary or desirable. There's no feedback loop to make that worth it. I think that's the problem, and that's how you end up with the GM doing a briefing that's been the same for 10 years to deal with an issue in the room that's been there for 10 years and has never been fixed.
Yeah, I think rooms should, of course, be updated in terms of that by standard, right? Like that's just like having pride in what you're doing. Like you're running an escape room and you're proud of this experience. And if people are saying 10 years ago, this is the best in the UK, again, not calling out any specific one, but if people are like saying this is amazing, you should at least hit that minimum bar of being amazing.
Yeah.
But exactly as you've all said, there's no incentive to upgrade the puzzles because those people who played 10 years ago are not going to come back and play again. Yeah. Your potential pool of, even if it's people living in the city or even all the enthusiasts in the UK, you're going to max out on that group of people. And unless you redo the room, there's no point updating one or two puzzles to be better or changing the actor interaction. Yeah. No financial point to that.
Well, look, from a commercial perspective, I think like what Escape Rooms Craft are doing is quite nice because you're not changing the theme, carving an entire new space. You are presenting a new game for replayability for those other people, but you are minimizing the cost by keeping the same space, keeping most of the same props, using what you've already got. And just it's the design that is the most of the work.
Let's talk about Escape Quest. Has anyone in this room played Escape Quest in Macclesfield?
No.
Incredible. This is, I think, the best room in the UK by far. It is a company. And
the date is the 21st of February, 2026. Mairi Spaceship Known has declared the best room in the UK. Fireworks are flying. Pigs are flying too.
The rats have been released.
There's pate on my head. I've got hair.
And now Jamie is massaging it for no reason at all.
The reason is for my pleasure.
They have built an enormous space and it is an entire street full of shops, full of buildings, full of cinemas, this, that, and the other.
Have you played this?
Yeah. But wait, I played 2 of their experiences. They change 4 or 5 times a year, and all they need to do is close some shops and open another shop.
So this is
every time you go in, it's,
this is like Phantom Peak.
Yes.
But sort of with a higher turnover. Yeah.
It's just an escape. It's 60 minutes long. You have a new mission to do in this world, on this street. And it's so clever. And so they can update the shops that are closed while the other shops are open for this mission.
Amazing. So every time you get on the street, there's different shops open.
Yeah, and those places. You're like, the bookshop's over there, the cinema's there, and you go into the room. I hope we get to go in the cinema this time, kind of thing. And you don't know until you go in, and they've got I think 8 different experiences they can do, and they run like this for 6 weeks, and then they stop to the next one. And as they've stopped another one, they're updating previous ones. They're adding new air quotes missions to it. Beautifully done.
So the answer is a combination of scale and tempo. That you can create that cycle of replayability, that lovely virtuous cycle, but you need a big enough space and enough components in it, enough individual experiences in it. Because like say Phantom Peak update like once a year or something.
Multiple, 4 times a year.
Really?
They do seasons. They do spring, autumn, winter, summer. Yeah.
But still, to achieve that, you need a big space and you need to be able to switch things over a lot. Yeah. Wow. We must go, by the way. We must go.
That sounds amazing.
You go one at a time. That's the problem. It's like Macclesfield, so it's not the most convenient place to get to. And you do
it's just down the road from Nottingham.
Actually, it's a drive. Yeah, it's a short drive. So we would have to come back 10 times in a year. do them all.
Crazy.
Oh my god, Mairi, you would do that as well. That's,
I so would.
I would have to
But she'd fly.
cash in some serious marital credit, I think, to manage that.
Yeah. On the maintenance aspect, there is a good. When you fixing a broken keyboard that costs 30 quid, you could do that in, I don't know, an hour or two, potentially. Depends on how good your engineer people, maintenance people are. But if it's a bigger thing like a central gimmick that the entire room revolves around,
Nice.
you've got to shut that room down for however many days or weeks.
And then retrain GMs.
And there's a lot of income lost. If you've only got 3 rooms, which a lot of like newer escape rooms have, you've slashed your income by a third.
You're not doing it.
So it's not only that there's no financial incentive to do it, is that you're actively harming yourself by updating the room. So
And no one's going to credit you. There's not going to be anyone on the internet shouting, they fixed the thing.
Look how
It's
new
not
it
gonna
looks.
happen.
Yeah. There's a room that, and this is a parallel, and you'll see the parallel I'm making, but this is a real example. There's a room I played with an elevator in it, and I played it twice between 6 years. I loved playing rooms again. And the first time I did it, it was amazing. Second time I did it, the mechanic kind of sucked. It was really clunky and made a loud noise and was kind of shaky and didn't really work as well. And now I've played loads of rooms with elevators in. They're absolutely fantastic. And I remember speaking to that owner because he's since become a really good friend. And I was like, oh, you're going to redo it? And he was like, no. He was basically kind of told me that he was going to let the room die
Yeah.
and then change it to something else. But like he was aware that that fun lift mechanic wasn't working very well anymore. And that was it. That was the life cycle of the room.
Interesting.
Okay, no. I think I'm building towards an answer to our question.
Okay.
Ooh.
So even in that instance, even the creative person who
Yeah.
made that and presumably gifted it into the world and was happy with it and loved the experience it created, something happened, like psychologically, something's happened there to be like, oh, it doesn't matter.
Well,
no,
in this-
because
Oh, I'm focused on the next thing or whatever
in this
it is.
specific example, I don't want to give away too much information because my knowing the lift sucks. Maybe I shouldn't know this, but he sold the escape room to someone else and someone else is running it. But now he does design for loads of companies and is really cool, really successful. And I think the escape room would like him to update it. And he's like, don't. We're going to do something else once this is done. I think it's that
So
situation.
he's
kind of thing.
creatively moved forward in his head.
Yeah, I think so.
It does leave a sort of a sorry state of affairs for players.
Yeah.
Because it means that you're almost guaranteed that the longer you wait to do an escape room,
The worse it will be.
worse the quality of the room will get for you from set design, production value, immersion perspective.
And what was once bleeding edge is now bleeding out.
That's a good line. But not too early, though. You've got to wait. So there is a sweet spot to play an escape room. There is a perfect time frame where you get it when the puzzles are nailed, play tested, solid, but the room is fresh enough that it feels solid.
Within the first year, but not the first month, I think.
Yeah, so maybe the 6 month, 3 to 6 months after a room opens.
which, to be fair, is probably also when you've still got the, whoever actually put it together for you, essentially on speed dial, because you're like, okay, like you're on retainer for this period to fix the hot shit that comes up.
I don't even think it's that far. I don't think they can be on speed dial. I think they need to still be running it. I think the downhill slope begins when the person who brought that thing into the world has walked out of the building. That's when the decline begins. Because then all of the love and care that went into making that lift mechanism really fucking silky smooth. So those players had a really amazing reveal when the lift doors open. They go, oh my God, we're in a different, this is amazing. The person who did 14-hour shifts to make that happen and it was worth it for them is still there. Because they're moving on. And once they've moved on, the decline begins.
Yeah.
I would massively agree with that. So I think we've actually got so we have now, I'd say, 2 questions. So our original one was essentially, when should an escape room be updated? But we've also got, when should you play an escape room in terms of its update cycles?
Also, I want to add a third one.
Fuck's sake. Okay, go on. I felt like a really neat conclusion.
When should an escape room be closed?
No, I'm going to answer that. So I say answer that. I think I can draw together some of the threads that we've had so far to answer that. So when should you play an escape room? I think within that first year is the sweet spot, but also
For a maximal experience, like the best experience you have.
But I think something that you said, John, when the people who made it are still creatively invested in it, that is, I think, a good time to do it. Because
Can I also flag, even if we're looking at like Turpica, if a company releases an escape room and they're going for a Turpica award, that first
can
year
we
is
get
going to
Turpica
be
breakdown, by the way, for the people who don't know what that
Top
means?
Escape Room Project Enthusiast Choice Award is like an international competition for the best escape rooms in the world, but you can only nominate if you've played over 200 rooms. You can only vote if you've played 100 rooms. So it's kind of like the enthusiasts of the world are nominating and voting on the best escape rooms, and then it's kind of aggregated to give a ranking list that updates every year. It's like the Oscars for escape rooms. Everyone's going for a Turpica. If you're going for a Turpica, the first year you're open, you are going to be shit hot on everything. You're getting the voters and the nominators of the world in your doors playing it. Year 2, yes. Year 3, you've got your Turpica.
Or not.
Or not.
And if you're not, you're not getting in with that room.
Exactly.
You're bitter.
If you're not getting it in the first 2 years.
You're covering yourself in petroleum and going down and blazing glory in your own room.
And Turbica rooms cost upwards of 500,000, 1 million, 2 million. Like, if you put that much money and you didn't get a Turbica,
Damn.
You are bitter.
Yeah.
Poor.
Christ.
So our conversation spanned a lot. I think it turned, this is going to sound like a very Mike answer, but bear with,
Okay.
into a slightly actual, we need an ontology to unpack this. Because
Those playing Mike's pedagogy drinking game, take a drink.
okay, no. So basically, our concept of update needs breaking down into a few categories. So within update, we have talked about maintain, repair, update, relaunch, remix, and replace.
Stop the boat.
So we can go, when should an escape room be? And then insert here. So when should an escape room be maintained? Always. When should an escape room be repaired? As soon as it fucking breaks.
Yep.
Yes.
When should an escape room be relaunched? When it doesn't work, when a core element of it doesn't work and it needs to be fixed. When should an escape room be remixed? So we were talking about the Cardiff rooms. Essentially, when it's a bit long in the tooth, you've still got a good space, and you would like to basically, launch a sequel within that same space and kind of.
There's no reason that Curio 2 is not killing it right now.
it would.
Yeah.
And when should an escape room be replaced? When the thing is ready to die. We've all encountered a few rooms.
I want to
think it's
clarify
been replaced.
that. Not that when it's ready to die.
Oh, before
but
it's ready to die?
well, sure, for the poor people who play it at the end of its life, sure. But when it's literally no longer what it was. When the butcher is no longer.
Yeah.
When the butcher is trading on being the scariest thing in the UK and it's no longer that scary.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
When Curio is trading on this really cool gimmick that the whole room revolves around and it's no longer that cool.
Yeah. The reality, I imagine, the answer to that question would be when the bookings start to dwindle to a certain amount.
But that's what I meant with the feedback loop. I think that's the problem, because that would be the metric that any business would look at and go, okay, this room is dying. But because the feedback loop is so bad, you don't get that.
Well, that's the thing. Is part of this what should you expect as a customer? Because you are ultimately paying for this. So you should expect a room that is maintained. You should expect a room
Customer's charter.
that is repaired. And then there is a point at which you go, as a customer, should you be going to a room that is updated to maintain the thing at which it is sold as? So if it is sold, for example, as an immersive experience within a space, is it still successfully doing that in the thing?
But then do you negate the earlier reviews? So let's say you have a room that lasts for 10 years, 100 people play it in the first 10 years and say, this is the best room ever. 10 years pass, it's no longer the best room ever. You update it, new people come and they play it and they're like, I like it. But then what the 100 people from 10 years ago played is no longer the same, but they wouldn't necessarily come back and play it.
Like the lift.
Yeah.
Like the left.
When I did escape room reviews, I would often go back to old reviews and caveat it, say I played this thing 5 years ago.
Yeah.
This probably does not
This
reflect
news
the reality.
article was written 3 years ago. You've seen those
Exactly
now?
that.
Yeah. In a previous Conservative government. This is 2 prime ministers ago.
Yeah, what
6
impressed me
chancellors.
at 50 rooms wouldn't impress me at 400.
Oh, no. I don't know. I actually think that I understand what you mean, like the experience you get more, but what you get more of is also wisdom rather than a taste that just becomes more and more niche, just an ever finer sense of what the best caviar is. I don't think it's quite that. I think you gain appreciation, you gain wisdom. Like, I think what impressed you 5 years ago would still impress you in the same way now. The problem is that the thing 5 years ago has sort of slipped.
I was going to use the lift example, like,
Because the lift isn't the same now.
well, not even that. Let's say whatever it was, 2019, 2018, when I did that room, big caveat. I stepped into a lift for the first time and it moved, pneumatics, whoa, things changed, you emerge into a room. Incredible. That's the first time I've ever seen that. Now I've done that loads of times. Had I played that room now, even if everything worked perfectly, I would not have been impressed by that. And I didn't review it because I don't review non-UK rooms, but I would have given that 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10. Now, 3.5 out of 10 for the same experience.
Didn't we have a microcosm of that today? We did Robin of Lock's Key. We all agreed it was our favourite room.
Yeah.
There were elements of that experience in the Immaterium as the 4th room we played.
Yeah.
We all agreed it wasn't as good.
It didn't quite cross the threshold.
Had the room order switched, I think we would have put Immaterium as our favourite, because at that, once we'd done Robin of Lock's Key, if it was 2nd or 4th, it would have been old hat. The novelty hadn't been there, so we would have gone down in estimation.
Exactly that. I think the first time you experience a gimmick or a puzzle or a mechanic, incredible. Like the first time I saw a directional lock, wow. Now I'm like, whatever.
Something
You know?
slightly
No,
embarrassing.
you're not. You're like, whatever.
And it doesn't work.
Oh,
It's
for
like,
fuck's sake.
When Escape Reality in Cardiff first opened, their gimmick was that you got hints by scanning QR codes on the wall. For the puzzles.
cool.
When I first saw that, I was like, that is really fucking ingenious. I love QR codes. You scan the QR codes for the puzzle and you get the things. You don't need GM interaction.
Yeah.
The first time I thought that was great. the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth times that happens, like, this is broken as shit. This does not work. There's no GM interaction.
This is lazy.
The novelty of it, great.
Okay, I'll go quickly. That's not the industry. That's like your experience as well. There might have been 100 rooms with the QR thing, but you're going to be most delighted by that, and you're going to give that room your "this was so cool" rating. But it might have already existed.
True.
So what makes a classic then?
A classic.
Like, is there such a thing as an escape room classic?
I was in one that doesn't need.
Yeah, an industry that's still like, it's the Super Mario, and like Super Mario.
Butcher would be that, based on speaking to so many people, but everyone's like, Butcher's a classic.
Oh, John, $1 Million Heist. I would say that would stand up.
Enigma.
Yeah, I'd say that would stand up. I mean, they've actually relaunched it now as the $1
the
billion.
$1 billion. I played it. It was
That's inflation.
Does it? Can you get a classic in escape rooms now? Given that the industry,
This is my question.
People turn their noses up at a 4-digit padlock nowadays. It has to be all. A lot of people are like 5 digits. There are no locks in this entire experience, or we've got immersive theatre aspects of it. The industry has evolved to the point where if you have padlocks, it's like.
But I wonder again. I think this is a little bit like the tower structure thing, where like, what are we actually chasing? Are we chasing a better room, or are we chasing more bells and whistles?
Well, our question was, when should an escape room be updated? We talked about the commercial incentives earlier. So perhaps there are 2 potential routes to go down. One is you need to update it when the bookings start drying up. It could be because word of mouth has gone around that your room is shit, that it's broken, or that it's old hat and it's gone out of date. Alternatively, you do it when the reviews that you're getting, either through Google Maps, TripAdvisor, or through kind of like the industry talk, the chatter, through the influencers. Jamie,
swirling his
no longer reflect your design and creative intent. So if people are saying, I came out of this and I thought it was the most boring thing about all.
There's a better version of this in Spain.
So I would suggest that perhaps that maybe is the answer to our question, which in itself leads to a potential action for not
the meeting.
Not the UK ambassador, but actually for the disgusting plebs who she's got the misfortune to share this living room with.
Excuse me, I'm an influencer.
And this links back, John, to feedback cycle. Unless we are being responsible, kind of responsible customers and consumers, and for example, you are leaving that TripAdvisor review, you're leaving that Google Maps review, an honest review that says, good room, some broken shit in it. Or good room, wasn't particularly scary. It's those bits and pieces that allow that feedback loop to exist. They allow other people to make an informed choice as to whether they want to attend themselves. And it allows, if you do have a creator who is still creatively invested in it, to kind of make those maintenance, repair, updates, relaunches, remixes, or go, it's time to replace them.
Might I interject with two things before we wrap up? Number one, if you are an escape room owner / designer, let us know when you decide when a room needs to retire. Anonymously,
what is your policy?
Yeah, I'd love to know when an escape room owner decides now is the time to pull the plug on this room or revamp it or retire it.
I'd love to hear owners say, when do you take the decision to let a room die?
Yeah.
There is so much cum in the curtains, they won't close anymore.
And we're back.
So somewhere in that, I think we answered the question.
I think so.
We normally have the second half of the Pubisode, eating our scam.
There's a second half?
Well, yeah, we normally
It's
do a
for
recommendation.
recommendations.
We do a recommendation.
Yeah.
I'm going to challenge everybody to do maybe a 2-line recommendation.
Okay.
Cool.
With minimal kind of scene setting, backstory.
I got one.
Haynes user manual. Okay, so can we get some recommendations?
Oh my God.
Cool. I want to recommend Tears of Metal. It is a video game on Steam. Think Dynasty Warriors comic book art style set in medieval Scotland. It is fantastic. Only the demo's out right now. I've replayed it many times. Tears of Metal on Steam.
Nice.
I'm going to recommend a film. It is called The Fall. It is not a new film, but it is one of my favorite films. And I recently rewatched it on its original film. It is a story about a young girl in hospital and a man in hospital, and he's telling her a fairy tale. And it's trippy as fuck, and it's incredible. And just go watch it. It's beautiful.
I'm recommending any documentary by Adam Curtis of Can't Get You Out of My Head, HyperNormalisation, Bitter Lake, and Trauma Zone.
I love
fame.
Bitter Lake. That's one of my favorite films ever.
Oh my God. So Adam Curtis creates documentaries. A load of them are on BBC iPlayer. And they are very, very trippy stories of how the modern world has come to be the way it is from a specific angle each time, usually with him narrating over the top with an almost pure found footage, and the wildest, just weirdest, strangest juxtapositions of found footage to help him tell this story. And for example, HyperNormalisation, which is a series that he does, is about how we got to this place where we're in this constant state of being bombarded by, what is it? It's not even just by news, but by everything being sort of stretched into this grotesque version of reality, and this constant state of febrile bombardment that we all live in now and has become hyper normal. But yeah, anything by Adam Curtis on iPlayer. Do not do any psychedelics whilst watching these documentaries. That is bad, I'm told.
You're told.
That was my one line.
Yeah, I think John's taking your line as well.
Yeah, there was nothing in your room, John.
It actually was.
And I'd like to recommend knitting.
Yes.
If you, like me, find yourself when you're a little bit kind of like reaching for your phone a lot or just sort of fidgeting a lot, I have found knitting, just reaching for your gun. Or do just take up knitting. Just like you can watch a bit of telly or listen to the radio or a podcast or whatever while you do it. Keeps your naughty hands busy, and then you get like a nice scarf or something at the other end. You can give it to your mum. Okay, cool. Right, I'm going to wrap us up then. Thank you so very, very much for listening and joining us at Robin's Hole, listeners. The barman has wafted away in a puff of tooth.
He's done a full Imhotep and just gone to dust.
We took that long.
Yes, yes, the last orders bell has rusted away to dust and is
and has not been repaired because the feedback loop for escape room maintenance is terrible.
No, we're in Nottingham. The bell for last orders is just that ominous bong.
The city bell,
the tolling of the bell in central Nottingham.
Anyone who's played Majora's Mask, that kind of it's the bell that shows the dead have risen. You got to get indoors.
It's very ominous. But yes, so we shall go out into the night. We might stop past the bakery for another sausage roll.
Yes, please.
On the way out, and we shall love you and miss you. If you've enjoyed the show, you can listen to us on all of your favourite apps, feeds, iTunes, and at our website, theinfiniteescaperoom.com. You can also follow us and get in touch via the socials. We're on Blue Sky, we're on the Grams, we're on Facebook, and we're usually The Infinite Escape Room. Original episode artwork is by Dom Jordan. You can check out his work at domjordanillustrations.com. If you really enjoyed the show and like to support us, then why not check out our Patreon program? You can find us at patreon.com/The Infinite Escape Room. With various tiers, there's various rewards. There's all sorts of different bonus materials and things. You can hear an awful outtake, possibly, for a game show I pitched, which
That's never going on Patreon.
nobody liked very much. Anyway, we love you lots, and we'll see you next time in The Infinite Escape Room. Good night.
Nighty night.
Bye-bye.
Godspeed.
Influenza.